Hi everyone. So my last parenting video was talking about the 3 unhealthy parent states of my self-integration model. And I had made a commitment to you to put together a video about what the 3 healthy parent states look like. And my apologies for the delay, but something called COVID-19 happened and I got a little distracted. So here I am. Okay, in the last video, I mentioned how we look at it from 3 vantage points: how we were parented, how we parent ourselves, and how we parent our children if we have children. And I also asked you to be aware of the impact of your parents' parenting on you. So in my self-integration model, I identify 6 parenting styles, or what I refer to as filters, which are the lenses through which we take things in, we see the world, and then how we react to them. There are 3 unhealthy ways and there are 3 healthy ways. So just to review on the unhealthy side, for those of you who maybe didn't see the first video: the critical parent or filter, the indulgent neglectful parent or filter, and the catastrophizer. So each one leads us to feel in different ways. If you are raised by a critical parent, or you treat yourself or your kids that way, that leads us to feeling bad, sad, inadequate, hopeless, shamed, depressed, guilty, angry, all of those things. The indulgent neglectful has us feeling entitled, selfish, spoiled, tantruming, whiny, addicted, victimized, self-pitying. And the catastrophizer has us feel anxious, needy, fearful, and helpless. So if you want more information on the unhealthy side of the model, go to my website, donnajacobs.ca, and click on the video tab. Okay, I'm now going to move us into the healthy side of the model, and I want you to see if you can identify with any of the styles regarding the people that raised you, or from your own style of parenting. The overall idea of understanding the 6 parent states is to understand the impact of how we were parented from our family of origin and how we can move to change. Remember, we possess all the parts necessary to become healthy parents. They're all within us. So the first of the healthy parenting styles is the protective parent. So what is the protective parent's job? The protective parent's job is to protect us, to make us feel safe and secure. But what are we protecting ourselves from? Well, we're protecting ourselves from both external forces as well as internal. And what do I mean by protecting yourself from an external force? Might be a toxic parent, a critical boss, an abusive partner. Protection from an internal force is the way we talk to ourselves. For example, you walk by the mirror and you look at yourself with disdain and say, "Ugh, what are you wearing? Oh my God, you got so fat. Ugh, who would like you anyway?" That's obviously the critical lens and makes us feel bad. That's the internal part of us that we have to protect against. So for the purpose of teaching the healthy parents, let's work with the following example. Your child who has just graduated high school did not get into any of the universities that they applied to. What you'll probably notice is you're getting anxious, and you might say things like, well, what if they never get into another university? Or all their friends are going to go off and leave them behind? And what if they never get into anything? And what if they have no friends? And what if they sit in my basement for a year? That's all of the anxiety caused by the catastrophizing part of us, because the external event is not that catastrophizing. So the protective parent's job in this case is to look at the internal damaging forces and then rush in and pry the internal negative parent off your throat. It's like this, right? In essence, the protector's job is actually to remove the toxic force so that we can make room for the other healing agents to move in. And I'll describe them next. If you look at my book, Becoming Your Best Self, you will see many strategies for the protective parent to take down the unhealthy parent that resides on the unhealthy side of the model. This is all done in visualization. You have to imagine it in your minds, what it would look like for a strong protector to remove this negative impact and toss it out. Think of it as the bouncer at the club or the bar. Okay? Toss it out, get rid of it, make sure it does not return. That is the protective part of us. That's their job. Okay, my preference, what I use is I imagine my catastrophizer telling me, well, what if this and what if that and what if that? I put it in a headlock so that it just has no more words, and then my protective parent just takes it off and does what it has to do with it. Keeps it away so that the next healthy part can move in. And what is the next healthy part? The next healthy part is called the nurturer, the nurturing part of us, the filter, the parent. And that nurturing parent's job is to nurture, validate, reassure, comfort, and soothe. Care for, love, all of those things. And it's fairly easy. Actually, most people make it much more complicated than it is. The idea is for the nurturing parent to validate by saying things like, oof, that must have been shocking that your kid didn't get into any universities, and I can see how you'd be anxious and upset. And you tried so hard to implore to your child that studying matters. Validate, validate, validate. Then we move into reassurance. But we never reassure blindly. Okay? What I mean is, if there's an example that someone's parent is dying, you cannot tell them that everything's going to be okay. But we can reassure them in a different way, which sounds like, I know this is really tough. I could imagine the loss and you're in grief and this is so sad and frightening for you. But I am here for you. I'm not leaving you. I'm staying by your side. We are going to get through this together. Again, this is all done internally. So the reassurance doesn't become about the outcome, but rather about not traveling the journey alone. The next in the healthy filters or parent states is the guide. And the guide for me is like the therapist, the teacher, the mentor. This is the part of us that puts the pieces together to help us understand. This part looks at the historical patterns, our family of origin. It provides perspective so that we can have a better idea of how to wisely or more wisely move through this. The guide may say things such as, let's keep our perspective here. No one said that all individuals have to follow the same trajectory finishing high school. Or, it's possible that what your child learns during this year may be more important than a year of school. Or, by closing those doors, your child may find something else that is more important for them, or a better choice that fits with them better. The guide may also say that this may be coming from your own childhood, where your life was scripted by your parents and you didn't have much say, and maybe that makes you nervous for your child. Or the guide might say this is not the end of the world. It's solely your catastrophizing part of you that's making you so anxious. The actual situation does not warrant such a high degree of anxiety. At this point, what I have seen and witnessed is that people start to calm down immediately. Once the unhealthy parent is removed from your throat, so to speak, it allows us to start healing. Then we nurture, and then we guide. The actual last step of the process is to bring in the adult part of us, which moves things forward, makes a decision, problem solves, has a conversation, something to help it move forward. And the adult part of us is the part that gets through life, shows up for appointments, pays our bills, and so on. And that adult part may have a talk with your child without reprimanding, or might ask questions about how they feel about all of this, or ask how they see their year unfolding. And the adult can even help our children, find some resources. Okay, it's sort of the doer. So let's just talk about the handshakes. Just as the 3 unhealthy parent filters or states had us feel certain things, right? The critical makes us feel depressed and angry and sad and hopeless, and the indulgent neglectful makes us feel spoiled and tantruming and whining and self-absorbed, and the catastrophizer makes us feel anxious and needy and fearful and helpless. Similarly, we have a handshake with the positive, healthy parent states. The protective parent, which is that first one who's moving this off your throat, leads us to feel safe, secure, protected. The nurturer leads us to feel loved, joyful, confident, enthusiastic. The guide leads us to feel empowered, capable, able, creative. So I hope that this balances out these 6 parent states or filters. and that you can see how it impacts how we feel, and that this process, how we can help on the road to becoming our best selves. So thanks so much for listening. If you need more information, please go to my website, donnajacobs.ca, and you'll see all of my videos and information about my book, which can be purchased at amazon.ca or Indigo, or when stores reopen again, downtown Toronto at Caversham Books. Or go to my YouTube channel, Donna Jacobs, which has all my videos, or my Facebook page, D. Jacobs Psych, P-S-Y-C-H. So thank you so much for listening, and stay well during these challenging and difficult times. I will be running my next webinar entitled Help, I'm Parenting Through COVID-19. A lot of people are struggling with that. I'm speaking to a lot of people every day who are having a really tough time. So if you want to get a link to that upcoming webinar, please go to my website, donnajacobs.ca, sign in, and we can include you on the mailing list. Okay, so everybody, please be well, and I'll see you soon.